Hi, everybody. Welcome to Dr. Cammy and Karen Go Keto, where Cammy and I are transitioning to a ketogenic carnivore lifestyle, and we are documenting our journey. This is like our sixth month into the journey, and we are still struggling. And Cammy has decided, and so have I. I've joined her in the We Are Going to Be Extraordinary, and we're going to talk about that today of how we're going to be extraordinary. Cammy, what do you got to say about that?
Well, hi, Karen. It's so good to see you. And hello, everybody. So I am looking at a structured framework for being more extraordinary in my life. And Karen is so good for me because I have magical thoughts. Like I just think, oh, I'll be extraordinary. I'll just be more extraordinary. And then I fantasize about how that's going to look and how that's going to be, but I don't put any structure in place to create it. So Karen says, well, what's the structure behind that? And I'm thinking, well, I need to look at that. So we're talking a little bit about some structure to be extraordinary. And one of the things that I have to talk about is being hungry. And I do not like to be hungry. I feel panicked when I start to get hungry. And this has been with me for probably ever. I remember being young, and I think it might even go back to growing up with 7 kids in the family, and my mother never said, like, "Are we gonna have food to eat this week?" Because I remember going to the grocery store with her, and we would have 2 big carts full of food, but she talked a lot about not having enough money. And I think that I switched that over to, oh, if there's not enough money, is there going to be enough food to eat? So there was always some panic around whether or not there was going to be enough food to eat and whether or not I was going to have dinner, which we always did. One of the things that we did growing up was we met at 6 o'clock on the dot. You had to be sitting in your chair ready for dinner. And I really liked that structure going on because that was a way for us to all connect and to kind of share a little bit what happened during the day. And so I could always depend on dinner at 6 p.m. every night. But I was always a little panicked about the food and whether or not there would be enough. So I don't know if that's just a story that I've created because I'm really good at like magical thinking and having stories in my head. And Karen, you're really good at pointing that out to me. But I think now I need to realize that there's plenty of food. I have plenty of money. I know which right foods to eat. It's okay for me to be a little bit hungry. And it's okay for me to
Stop,
even,
stop. You just said it's okay for you to be a little bit hungry.
well, I was going to continue and say,
Okay.
and it's okay for me to be even a little more than a little bit hungry. That
What
has
about
to,
a lot hungry? Like when we say we're starving, like really be starving.
no, that's not okay.
Okay.
That's my story. And that's why last night at 8 o'clock at night, I ate cheese with nuts because I was really starving and hungry. And that is another story that comes up with me that I'm not going to sleep well if I'm that hungry. That's another story that I have. So, restructuring my stories and the thoughts in my head is something I need to be doing.
And how are you going to change this feeling of it's okay to be hungry? Like how are you going to be with the I that thought that you are going to be hungry or you are hungry?
I'm just going to have to realize that I I'm going to have a conversation inside about how I'm not going to starve, how I have plenty of fat to live off of right now, so that physically I'm okay. And I can drink a big glass of water. I can go journal. I can get busy doing something else. You know, food is going to come again eventually when it's time for me to eat. So I could preoccupy myself with other physical things to do. That's one of the things I can do.
And is that a good way to deal? I mean, are you actually going to feel panicky? If you are going to feel panicky, it seems like you need to have something to reach out to quickly that's going to stop the panic or the feeling of panic.
One of the things I could do is take 10 deep breaths and pray. That would probably calm me. but I'd
And
have
is
to
your
do it.
is your conversation more about the thought that you may be hungry, or are you actually hungry?
No, I think more it's now a thought of it's a thought of I am hungry. I
Or
think
I guess you actually said you're not gonna sleep because you are hungry, so you decided to eat, right? So it's actually so much the conversation is the future that you're predicting is the poor sleep where you haven't gotten there yet, right? You haven't put your head on the pillow and said, "Oh, here I am sleeping, 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 sleeping." You're just sitting there going, "Oh, I'm hungry, 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 hungry. I'll never fall asleep," kind of thing.
well, I don't know. I guess I will have to fall asleep hungry. I'll have to just practice doing that. I mean, one of the things I did get is a noise machine that I have by my head, and that makes a little bit of noise. That might be something to help me. I'm just
Mhm.
going to have to deal with, structuring around it as it comes. I'm figuring it out and just knowing that I'm not going to die if I'm hungry. And, I'm not in an operating room anymore. I don't have to be sure I don't pass out in the middle of surgery or, something like that. I'm not working 24-hour shifts anymore. So I don't have to worry about, the responsibility of it. I just have to take care of myself in a healthy way. And that's
All
what I'm
right.
learning to do.
All right, got it. So, we're gonna work on being extraordinary and not panicked about not eating.
Right, and not panicked about being hungry and not panicked about even being more than a little bit hungry because food's gonna come.
All right. So, we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Thanks for following us. Comment. Say hello. Bye,
Don't
everybody.
panic, be hungry, be okay with being hungry. It's okay, we're not gonna die.